lovelies, and welcome to the very last episode of Feeding Frenzy. I know, I can barely believe it myself, but all good things must eventually come to an end. And in the true spirit of saving the best for last, we are here today at one of my personal favorite restaurants, the ever classy, the ever delicious Kryptos. All I can say is Opa.
A not so long time ago, in the not so far away land of Cyprus, there sat New Zealand-born chef Willie, tucked away in a little kebab restaurant, nibbling upon a piece of halloumi cheese. This would set the backdrop for an idea that would change Chennai's culinary landscape. This is where the idea of Kryptos, the Greek and Cypriot-influenced restaurant, was born.
Like I say, we were chatting just off camera before, and I was saying, you know, not being a Greek chef, so I don't have the grandmother, great-grandmother, mother tradition of cooking this Greek food on a sunny hillside under the olive trees each Sunday lunch, you know, which is what Greek food is, the picture you tend to envisage over it. So basically it's from my travels, both in Cyprus and in Greece, what I've seen for the dishes that I put on. A concept came from sitting in a kebab restaurant 3 nights in a row in Larnaca in Cyprus for making this place. And from the Cyprus side, you get a lot of Middle Eastern influences coming in, like the hummus and things like that. So it means my menu here, yeah, very much Greek with Cypriot highlights, that I can also bring in a few Middle Eastern dishes as well. Gives me a little bit of variety and expansionism.
In Cyprus, food is life, and Cypriot cuisine can be described as bringing together Turkish, Greek, and Middle Eastern elements. Greek cuisine has a culinary tradition that spans almost 4,000 years. The Greek poet Archestratus, in fact, wrote the first ever cookbook in history in 320 BC.
Yeah, Greek cuisine is basically fresh, from the land, from the sea, and family orientated. But basically what I wanted to do was try and get more of a family style restaurant, you know, to follow the culture of the Greeks in friends and family sitting together and sharing.
Well, I start my feast now with a vegetarian meze platter and also a non-vegetarian meze platter on the side. Now, meze are generally small little dishes. They can be served hot or cold. In general, they're eaten before the meal, but in countries like Cyprus and Lebanon as well, meze can be eaten as a meal unto itself. Here, however, we're starting with them as little appetizers.
My appetizers were many, and my goal was one: to finish everything on my plate. There was kalitsunia, Swedish pumpkin, greens, and rich ricotta wrapped in a fragile phyllo pastry. Eliotes stuffed with black olive tapenade, flavored gently and tastefully with oregano. Koto pulopitakia, a sweet and savory magical melange of chicken, apricots, and feta. Ladyfish, minimally seasoned, buttery soft in texture.
And do not miss the halloumi cheese on the side, the source of inspiration for Kryptos restaurant. Now, halloumi is made with both goat's and sheep milk. It's a traditional Cypriot cheese, a little salty to taste, with a texture that's a little bit like mozzarella cheese. Well, the main course has arrived swift as a summer breeze. Now, I'm starting with the vegetarian moussaka. Moussaka in its Greek form is an aubergine-based dish, also with potato. It's layers of aubergine and tomato, often with minced meat, but we have the vegetarian form over here. Willie has also added a touch of zucchini, and it's topped off with a white bechamel sauce.
course, I've known moussakas for many years. But then coming here, you research the recipes, and I always get some people to say, oh, you shouldn't put this in or you shouldn't put that in. But all my recipes here, you know, with the Greek Cyprus, I have a little bit of leeway to play with, because you know, it may not be from that village there, but I can call it from there. But my recipes are authentic here. It's like the moussaka that I do have zucchini in. It's not all that common, I agree, but it is a very legitimate Greek recipe for moussaka.
Sometimes moussaka variations also include the addition of mushrooms or partially fried potatoes. It's believed that the Greek preparation of this delectable dish was actually invented by Greek chef Nikolaos Tselementes in the 1920s.
Wow. That is so rich, but still with such delicate flavors. Well, in case you were wondering, yes, I am so hungry. So we move on now to an ever-popular Greek classic, the souvlaki. Now, this is traditionally in Greece. It's a sort of a fast food made traditionally with lamb. It can also be made with other meats. Served on a skewer, often served with pita bread, and over here, a side of tzatziki.
Tender, juicy, smoky flavored, offset by the cool, fresh zing of the tzatziki, a Greek dish made with yogurt and cucumber, eaten as a meze or as a dipping sauce for souvlaki. I also sampled the kotopoulo kapama, chicken bathed luxuriously in a rich and exotically spiced tomato gravy, served with a side of couscous. An average meal at Kryptos will cost you approximately 1,200 rupees.
My meal ends now with a little bit of the traditional and a little bit of the innovative. Now, the traditional is the classic dessert, the baklava. Layers of phyllo pastry topped off with pistachio nuts and sweetened with honey. And the innovative is actually an innovation of Kryptos restaurant. It's little balls of melted chocolate served in a Greek batter puff and a side of vanilla gelato. And this, I promise you, is a must-try.
The sphingi, as these little balls of delight are called, must be eaten instantly when hot in order to enjoy their sinful bursts of chocolatey madness. The shell is crisp, the insides are hot, gooey and goopy, the gelato on the side is fresh and arctic cold. The end result is a very happy and content Nirupama.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the end is near. The Last Supper, as Da Vinci would have called it, is complete, and I cannot think of a more fitting or delicious end to a show that I've really grown to love so much. So please do send your feedback in to feedback@ndtv-hindu.com, and whatever you do, don't stop eating. Ta-ta!